everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie, Mandy.
And I am here with my bestie, Jessica, who hopefully will be remembering that she's my bestie because we're convincing.
So this is Convincing My Bestie. I get to convince Mandy to read in a certain trope. She's so excited. Would you like to know what we're going to do?
I have... We haven't done Alien and our Omegaverse for a little bit, so I feel like that is coming. But I
You're worried.
kind of am wondering. I think I might be able to guess this.
Okay, what do you think it is?
I think we might be doing Dark Cowboy.
No.
Oh, dang
No.
it. It was
No.
thinking.
So, that is a good idea. Put that on the list for me, please. But that is a good idea. I pulled books. I thought it would be really fun to do books that were published before 2020. So these are oldies but goodies. And
A book that's 5 years old is old.
Well, in the book world it is. So these are oldies but goodies, but they if you look at the ratings, some of them have higher ratings, a lot of ratings, but they've been around for a while. The majority of what I have, like a lot of them are from 2018. There's some that are from 2016. Like they're kind of all over the board here. So these are older ones that you just don't hear about anymore, especially for those who are newer to getting into reading romance. Like this might be kind of fun, but these are all books that you haven't read before that you should have read by now.
Okay. Am I going to call you an oldie but a goodie now?
No, you're not.
From prior to 2000.
So are you.
You're in a totally different century.
Yeah, okay. Anyhow, so I actually, instead of our usual 6, I have 8 for you because I just couldn't narrow it down. So you're gonna choose from 8.
Okay, so this is good. You've been talking a lot about Dark Cowboy lately, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's what it's gonna be. But
that's gonna be a good one. I need to write that one down. If you guys want Dark Cowboy, I'll figure that one out. I'll make sure I find 6 somewhere.
Okay, I'm
but
excited.
Mandy hasn't read because you've already read the Pam Godwin Dark Cowboy, so you know.
I just really was nervous.
Yeah, you're just dying for that Omegaverse, right?
And some aliens.
And
white shoes, love triangles, like all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, ready? Okay.
For 8 books, apparently. I hope I have enough note space.
I'll let you know if there's audio for them. Some of them don't have audio. So, okay. So the first book I have is one of my all-time favorites that you have yet to read. And it's The Alien That Flew to the Moon. No, I'm kidding. That is Unseen Messages by Pepper Winters. This book was actually, believe it or not, it was published in 2016. It was one of my favorite reads year before last, I believe. So this is about Estelle and Galloway. Now, Mandy, this does not have audio, but it is a big one. So I'm just saying, okay? But this is Estelle and Galloway. So Estelle made it big on YouTube as a singer. That's what she was kind of got her start. And so she has actually been on tour, and now she is flying home to Australia, but there is going to be a stopover in Fiji. She's leaving out of LA, and that is where she meets Galloway. So Galloway has had a pretty rough life in the last few years. He's made some poor choices, and he's been in LA working with an uncle or something. I can't remember who he's working with, but he was working with somebody. And now he's headed to a build site in Fiji, off the island of Fiji, that he has to get to within like 24 hours or he loses that job. And so they all get on a plane together. And it's called Unseen Messages because along the way, there's things that happen. Like when Estelle gets to the airport, they can't find her ticket. It was actually for the next day. When she goes through customs, there's a problem. When she gets to the gate, there was a problem. Like there's all these problems that kind of stop her, or should have stopped her, from getting on that plane. They make it to Fiji. And then there's another family that have the same last name as Estelle who are actually on the flight with them. And they all charter a helicopter to get them to where they need to go because there's a storm. Things happen. There is a crash. They have to survive. This one is one of the books that I can tell you actually broke me at one point, and that does not typically happen. So, loved this book so much. I think everybody should read it. It's just so good. And if you decide to read it, I will not pay for your therapy. Just putting that out there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Okay. The next book that I have for you is one book that you've got coming, and hopefully it'll be here to your house next week. fingers crossed if I get them out of customs in time. And that is Debt by Nina G. Jones. So my hope is that you will have it before this video ends. So Debt is, it's somewhat of a bully romance. Not really. It's more of a revenge romance. And I'm losing my spot where I read it. There it is. Okay. So this is about Tax and Mia. So the beginning of this book, Mia is talking to her best friend who tells her that she hired a service, and this is you have to have the know-all, like you have to have the card, the business card, and it's a referral based person to person. But her best friend used this service to fulfill her fantasies, like her rape fantasies. And Mia kind of has that fantasy as well. And so her best friend gives her the black business card. Is like, you look these guys out, like you put all the information online. It's all anonymous. You choose a couple different dates and times that would work with your schedule. You don't know when the guy is going to come. You do kind of describe what you want the person to look like, but you don't know when they're going to attack you. So, you know, one drunken night, she puts that in. And then on a different drunken night, somebody breaks into her home and the whole situation happens. And then a few days later, she meets this guy who tries to attack her and realizes that the person who came into her home to attack her is not the person that she hired. It really was someone that was there to attack her. And that snowballs into what happens when that guy is her new boss. So, loved this one. Definitely a fan favorite out there. And I can't wait for you to see the covers that we did because they're just that good. So, anyhow. Okay, the next one, I know for a fact that you have this sitting on your bookshelf. I actually gave you this book, and I don't know why you have not read it yet. There is audio. So there's audio for Debt as well. There's audio for this next one. Debt, by the way, was published in 2014, so that is an older one for sure. This next one was published in 2016, and that is Crow by A. Zavarelli. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so this is a bind up of the first two books.
Gang up on Mandy convincing.
I'm trying to get these books off your bookshelf. Come on.
Have you not read any of these?
Yeah, Mandy. So this is a mafia romance. This is about Lachlan Crow and our heroine, who is Mac or Mackenzie. This is an Irish mafia situation for those who have not read it. I know it was fairly popular there for half a minute. This is what got me my start in with A. Zavarelli. Loved it. But this Mackenzie's roommate has gone missing. And she's trying to find her roommate. The authorities are not helping. And this leads her to Sláinte, which is the strip club bar that is owned by the Irish mafia. And that is where she meets Lachlan. And there's some suspense to this. I really loved it. It's been years since I read it, but it still sticks with me. I remember the audio is actually pretty good. It was before they did a lot of dual and duet narration. So the female narrator that reads it does have a great Irish accent that she uses. It is so good. And I know that I'm not really telling you guys much, but I don't remember that much more other than the fact that she's trying to find her friend. Lachlan sees it, decides that she's his, and things just snowball from there. So it was one of my first mafia books that I really, really, really loved. So, and I do think that Mackenzie is a strong heroine. She is a boxer. She doesn't take his crap, and she feeds it back to him. So I liked her as a character. Okay. The next one that I have for you was also published in 2016. And this one is Unbreak My Heart by Nicole Jacqueline. This is a military-ish romance. So this is about Kate and Shane. So Kate and Shane were foster siblings when they were younger. And I can't remember. There's two different families. Kate's parents and Kate's aunt and uncle are both foster parents. So I think they were foster cousins, if I remember right. Like the aunt and uncle had fostered him when they were younger.
This really is every book I've been trained to beat you over the head with that you still have not read.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, yes, it is. Actually, I was so happy. I was so happy to see these were all in the oldies but goodies file, and I'm like, yeah, all right. Okay, so Kate and Shane, foster cousins. but Shane came to them later, like in his late teens. She had a crush on Shane for years. Shane went off to college and came home with a girlfriend, and it just kind of devastated Kate. Now she and this girl was it a girlfriend or was it her best friend? Durham, it's her best friend that he started dating.
It's her best friend
It's her
because that's
best
how
friend.
the whole story works out.
Yes, exactly. So they start dating. They get
I've
married.
heard about this book a time or two.
You have a time or two. They have babies, right? They get married, they have babies. He's in the military. He has gone a lot. And so Kate is the other parent, basically. She helps her best friend a lot with these kids because they got like a brood of kids. And so one day, her best friend's pregnant, and Shane is home from being deployed, and there's an accident, and Kate does not survive the accident, but the baby does. And Shane actually ends up bringing Kate back in to be a nanny to these kids. But the problem is, this is her only way to get to be around those kids. She loves those kids like a parent. Shane does not know what he's doing because, let's be honest, he really wasn't around. He was out fighting for our country, and that is totally understandable. But there's a lot of animosity between the two of them. She still harbors feelings for him. There's a lot of things happening here. Loved it. There is audio for it. I really loved this book. So, okay. Next. Oh yeah, this really is a gang up on Mandy Day. So the next book is,
at the end, is there going to be a twist that I have to read all 8 books?
No, I'm only going to ask you to pick one. So this next one is one that I really love. It is not very popular. Not a lot of people have read it. There's not a lot of ratings on it. But I think that it deserves that. And yeah, I think it deserves that. And that is Eirik by Joanna Bell. So this is a time travel Viking romance. This is about Paige, who ever since she was a little girl, there was, after her mom died and stuff, there was a tree in their backyard that if she stumbled one day, touched the tree, and then like when she realized after she was kind of sucked through time, she was sucked through back to like 780, like it was way back when, right? And there were these little kids that she played with, and she got to know the village, and she would kind of go back and forth. And for a while, she thought she was just, this was all in her imagination, and this was how she coped with the death of her mother. But now she's in college and she's visiting home, and she goes back, she touches the tree, and she sees these friends of hers that they've watched each other grow up. But she sees these friends of hers, now they're adults-ish, because this is, the Viking reigning period, and you got married when you were like 12 back then. And so she sees her friends, they're in this village, and the village is just, they're hungry, and they're just, it's not the same as how we live. And when she's there visiting him, the village gets raided by Vikings, and that is where we meet Eirik. He is the Jarl of this Viking clan and this Viking crew, and they end up capturing Paige during that time, and Eirik decides that he wants Paige for himself because she has all her teeth. So but I do love this story so much. There are, we see a lot of flashbacks to when she was hanging out with these kids, and in the first time around, I really enjoyed that. Now, when I do a reread of it, I like skip that because I know that. I'm like, I don't need this information. I want to see the relationship, but it is important to the story. So I love this one so much. Okay. The next book I was trying to choose an LJ Shin book for you, and I almost did The Kiss Thief, but I'm like, no, because I know that you're going to think it's love triangle even when it's not. So I actually picked up this one. This is Midnight Blue. There is audio for this one. There isn't for the Joanna Bell, but there is for this one. So this is about, what was his name? I thought I wrote it down. Hold on. I did, right underneath the title. So this is about Alex and Indigo. So Alex is a rock star, and he is spiraling big time, and he needs to get his act together. So his management team hires Indigo to basically be his babysitter while they're on tour for 4 months. If she can survive that time, then she gets paid the big bucks that they're offering. Alex is not going to make that easy on her at all. She has to be his babysitter, and he is very resentful of the fact that he has to have a babysitter on tour. Will she make it the 4 months? I don't know. But I really love this one. It was my first or second LJ Shin book. So there's that one. Then, I don't remember if this next one had audio or not. But I need to find it really quick. Where did I stick it? I read it last year. I have like 4 books I'm going through here. Okay, so this is Uncharted by Julie Johnson. This is about 17-year-old Violet and 30-year-old Beck. So Violet takes a job as a nanny for
17 and 30.
17 and 30. She does turn 18 before things happen, I think. She's right there. So this is a summer job that she's taking with a wealthy family to be an au pair for the wealthy family. And they're actually going to, they're taking a trip in the South Pacific. And so they board the plane. And right before they board the plane, that is where she meets Beck, who is a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer that the father has hired to come and be a part of his business dealings. That he's I think he's producing something there, a show or something. I can't remember what it is. Just before she realizes that Beck is going on the trip with him, they have a little bit of a tug of war over the bag at the baggage claim, because her bag looks like his bag. And there's definitely a tug of war situation that happens. So they already hate each other at that point. But their plane does not make it to its final destination, and they're going to have to rely on each other. So I read this camping, and I still think about this one. So that's another good one. That one was actually published in 2018, as well as the L.J. Shin book. Eric was 2017. Not like you really care that much. Okay. I don't know. Do the years matter to you? I don't know. Okay, so that should be 7, right?
Yes.
Okay, so number 8 is another one that I've brought up a couple of times, but knowing lately what you've been reading, I kind of feel like you might be willing to pick this one up a little bit. So this is Island Captive by Jane Henry. Jane Henry doesn't always work for me, but this one did. I don't know why everybody's planes are crashing in these books, but apparently they are.
That is the theme.
Okay, so our heroine is hired to apprehend a criminal, this guy who's been on the run. And he is apparently a dom, and in the situation that he was in with a girl, she died in this scene situation that they were having. And so he has fled, and he has been on the run. Our heroine captures him, and they have to extradite him to the US for trial. When they're on the flight, our flight does not make it. And things happen from there. They're the only survivors. So, and I believe that one does have audio, because I think I listened to the audio for that one too. Okay. So there's your 8 oldies but goodies. Most of them are 2018, 2016, 17, 14. So yeah, those are older ones as far as the book world goes. What are you going to read?
A lot of these have been on my list to read. So that makes this tricky. Because sometimes when we do these, there'll be one where I've been like, oh, I've been wanting to read that one. So it makes it a little easier to pick. Yeah. But most of these have been on my
your list. I know.
List. Decisions are hard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just helping you clear off your list.
Well, actually, one of them that I'm leaning towards really hard was not on my list.
Really?
Yeah, I really want to read Island Captive.
I figured you would. I was thinking, I was like, I bet you she's going to grab this one because you've recently discovered that you like Jane Henry.
I'm going to do Island Captive.
Okay, do Island Captive.
Which just means the rest of these will all literally just continue to sit on my TBR list.
I know. It's okay, though.
I actually had Kindle points and like Kindle money, you know? And so I bought Unseen Messages a while ago, and it's on my Kindle.
It's just kind of like that Jessica Hawkins book that you want me to read, which I love Jessica Hawkins. And it's just sat on my shelf and on my Kindle for years. And it's because I know it's going to be good, right? So it's one of those things where I'm just saving it for a rainy day.
Yeah, I will definitely be saving these notes, though, to keep these books in mind. So, but for this one, I'm going to read Island Captive.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be back when you finish Island Captive. All right, Mandy. So how did you like Jane Henry's Island Captive?
Okay. So I had to go somewhere and I knew I was going to be in the car for a while, so I decided to do the audiobook. And the audiobook is older, and
Yes.
so it is done with a male narrator. And so even in the point of view chapters from her point of view, he is reading them and he doesn't really change his voice at all. And so it was really confusing and it took me out of the story. But I had already paid for the audiobook and I was gone.
Yes.
And so I just kept listening to it. And so it ended up kind of being a 3-star for me.
Mm-hmm.
I tried really hard not to let that bother me. And I had a
It
hard
still
time
does.
getting into
Yeah.
it because of that.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a valid point. Like when you're listening to an audiobook, the narrators make it or break it for you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also, I think Jane Henry's writing has changed or
It's improved.
improved, evolved.
Yeah.
She's toned it in.
Because I've read some
Like,
Jane Henry that were older. Now that one is older, and I read that back in like 2020. When I first started really getting into reading, I read that one. But I've tried a few since then, and I have a really hard time with her books. I could never get into them. So you've liked recently what she's done. So
yes.
hopefully that does mean that it has evolved. I did like that one, but I think I physically read that one. I didn't listen to it. I don't remember because I
I
know the
think that
audio
would
was
be better
better.
because it's really one of the things that's confusing is when it first starts, it's her point of view, and she is like a bondsman and
Mm-hmm.
she's going to capture this guy. And so you're listening to it and it feels like because it's a man talking the whole time, it's really easy to forget that it was her point of view. And
Yeah,
so and then she's doing something that's traditionally more of a male role.
yeah,
And so it was like really kind of confusing.
yeah. So if you guys are gonna read it, physically read it. Let's put it out there.
Yes. And he was
Mm-hmm.
also I got a little I found like the little like I have to train her thing got a little redundant.
I don't remember that. It's been a while. It's been a while, but that's okay. All right, well, there you go. Those are your oldies but goodies before 2020 books.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I should have gone with unseen messages.
You can do that one later. It's all good.
Well, make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us and sometimes Wednesdays. And I am very excited for the next convincing of Jessica.
Oh, same. You guys have all been voting on it, and I don't know what's going on because I've been staying off of there, so I don't know. But
Yes.
all right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.